Okay. All right, guys. This is tonight's meeting is January 19th, I believe, 2021, Zoning Hearing Board. We have 4 appeals tonight, but it does look like we have one request for a continuance. This is the Augustin appeal, I believe. Just let me double check. Yes, the Gene Augustin appeal. And I have that somewhere here. I don't know where, but I do have it. Oh, yeah, appeal number 20-1873A. Adam, I did read it, but I'm a little confused. They look like they wanted to withdraw their application for the bed and breakfast. But now it doesn't seem so clear like that anymore. Can you
correct
this up for me?
Sure. So originally they were requesting a special exception to operate a bed and breakfast, and they were also requesting a variance for a setback. They then withdrew part of that, so it was just going to be the variance for the setback, and they were no longer going to pursue the special exception for the bed and breakfast. We received correspondence today from Bryce McWigan, who is from Begley Carlin, who is representing them, stating that he will no longer be representing them and that they are going to pursue both the special exception and the variance. So we need to re-advertise that because the only thing that's been advertised for tonight is the variance and not the special exception. So that cannot.
How many times have we given these people continuances already? We've already given.
I think there's been a few, and I think part of it was because they were then working to, I guess, narrow down the issues, and now they're expanding it again to the original request, which is special exception for bed and breakfast and a variance for the setback requirements.
So now we're back with the special exception for the bed and breakfast again, and the setback, correct?
Correct.
With a new attorney. And that's why they want to continue.
He's going to represent himself at this point.
Okay. All right. So, all right. I don't have an issue with it, but there is got to be a limit how many times we keep doing this. What will be the next meeting that we could possibly do this if we did it, if the board was did grant this continuance? We can on the next one, Jim. Mr.
Yeah, Jim, as long as you think we can advertise it in time, we could do the February 2nd meeting in 2 weeks.
I guess the question would be, can we advertise it just once, or does it have to be twice?
Well, we do it twice for all of our appeals.
Yeah, then we don't have enough time, I believe. We may just fall a day short.
March 2nd.
May I suggest that we just make it that the earliest date that we could possibly do it after I confirm whether or not we can advertise it this week and next week. And if so, then you could have it on the 2nd. If not, possibly the 16th, or maybe at the very latest, maybe make it that no later than March 2nd. The earliest available date, no later than March 2nd.
Yeah, the Katie McMahon at the township had brought up that we do have 5 appeals on February 16th already.
Then that's out.
So it's just a question as whether the board wants to put it then or move it to March 2nd. So that way you don't have to worry about too much in one night. Not being able to get to it.
I'm sorry for interrupting. Do we have an obligation for hearing it within a certain time frame once a continuance has been requested?
Well, the hearing hasn't started yet, and the applicant is requesting the continuance. So as long as they're waiving any time restrictions under the MPC, then we're okay.
Have they waived their time constrictions?
They have
restrictions. I'm sorry.
They have previously, and they're the ones that are requesting the continuance.
So in that case, we don't have to worry about the time limit. I'd say March 2nd That way Jim's doesn't have a problem, and it sounds like it's very doable. The 16th with 5 appeals already. That's ridiculous. Pushing it to February 2nd. Why? But if I'm wrong, somebody tell me.
I think it's fine. Just
Fine, yep.
Matt, I mean, I'll make a motion to move it.
motion to move it to the 2nd.
Make a motion to continue appeal 20-18738 to March 2nd, 2021.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Continue to March 2nd. Thank you very much. All right. Before I move on to the next appeal, which will be Edward and Deborah Kenkel, appeal number 21-1890. Is there any housekeeping, Adam, that you need to do for this particular appeal before we do anything, or you want me to bring them up first?
Well, they can get brought in. I will
Okay.
I'll mark the exhibits
Okay.
in the meantime.
All right. Edward and Deborah Kenkel, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Appeal number 21-1890. Please come forward and be sworn in and tell us about what you want. But before you do that, I guess you can get sworn in. Then Adam's going to have mark a few exhibits, if you will.
Yeah, application's going to be A1, site plan is A2, proof of publication B1, proof of posting B2, and notice to the neighbors B3.
Okay. Ed and Deborah Kenkel, are they with us?
Yes, good evening.
Okay. You need to be sworn in by our man, Bill.
Do you guys solemnly swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
All right.
And we also have Jeffrey Harris here, who's our architect as well, joining us.
Okay.
Is Jeffrey going to be testifying?
Yes.
Then,
Okay. Jeff, can I swear you solemnly swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you.
all right, Ed or Deborah, if you can explain to the board what you like to do. We've already read it, but we want to hear it from you. Please go forward.
Yes, so we are seeking an exception to section 223B, dealing with impervious surface. We are seeking to add about 150 square foot addition to our home. We're looking to establish a bedroom and bathroom on our main level of our house, so that our elderly parents who don't easily traverse upstairs would have a place on the main floor to stay with us. And that would put us at, I think we're at about 20.5% on impervious surface, and that would bump us up to around 21%, which is why we're here for the exception.
What's your current percentage? 20.5? Is that what I'm reading?
Yes.
20.5%.
Current is 20.5%. That's correct.
And we're just looking at impervious surface, nothing dimensional. I don't see anything on here for dimensional.
No, you're well within the setback lines, existing setback lines. So it's really only impervious, and they're already over on impervious.
And most people are. And I see it's not that much. And I'm sure if you've been following the board over these years, you see what we usually do. This is a small increase, but we always require something. Do you have something that'll mitigate it back to where you are at least? Am I out of line, guys? Matt? I mean, it's not a lot, but
So
Well, I
it
think
looks
it's
like
well
a half a
within there.
percent, or no, 1.5% increase is what they're looking for.
0.5.
looks like 0.5, Pam.
0.5.
Oh, it is 0.5, you're right, which is really de minimis.
It is, but we still always require something below 1, just not the usual.
Do you have any mitigation proposals?
Well, it's tough
Trees.
to ask them to cut back on anything. The existing driveway has just enough room for parking as it is. And really the only thing would be to reduce the size of the existing patio, which really is not ideal either on the back. So we're trying to mitigate it through the stormwater runoff with the rain barrels and whatnot. But to actually reduce impervious would be really difficult on this site. I
I'm
think they
sorry, I
meant,
meant
are they
reduce
doing-
the effective.
One at a time, please. Go ahead.
I apologize. I meant reduce the effective impervious surface
Okay.
percentage.
Is that the intent of the rain barrels? I see the calculation there.
Well, that would be, yeah, to help mitigate the stormwater runoff would be the rain barrels, yes.
And with the rain barrels, what's the effective impervious surface rate?
Well, I'm not sure I quite understand that question. You're saying you're reducing impervious surface with the rain barrels?
Here's what they're talking about.
Go ahead.
They're just wondering how much stormwater are you controlling with your rain barrels? And I believe the answer is you're bringing it back to as if there was no impervious surface from a stormwater management perspective.
Exactly, we are. In fact, we'll probably be doing a little bit more than that, just from the fact that we'll probably be putting in 2 rain barrels since it's difficult to pipe from one side to the other. So I have it shown on the calculations as a single rain barrel, but in actual fact, we'll probably be using double that for this use.
Mr. Majewski, do those calculations look correct?
Yes.
How do you plan on maintaining these barrels over time?
Their maintenance plan being recorded?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what you mean by maintaining a rain barrel.
Yes.
If I may answer that,
Sure.
what they could do is we could just require that they record a stormwater management operations and maintenance agreement for the rain barrel.
How do we do that, Jim?
We have a standard form that we have made up.
Okay.
They sign it and we record it in the county, and it says that they're going to maintain that rain barrel in perpetuity.
Okay, even after they sell it.
Correct.
Okay. Do you understand that, Mr. Kenkel, Mr. and Mrs. Kenkel?
Yes, so just to clarify, that would mean, I guess could you clarify the point after we sell it? You're talking if we were to sell the home, we would still need to maintain.
Not you guys, the new people.
The new people. Okay.
It would carry with the property.
Yes, I do understand.
I'm not sure that's required for de minimis increase, but that's just my personal opinion. I would vote to approve this application as is.
Well, what, is the township involved with this at all? No township? Barbara's not involved with this?
No.
Any public comment on this?
No public comment.
No public comment. Pam, I understand what you're saying, but the ultimate goal is to keep it as it should be. I got what you're saying. Anybody else have a comment? I mean, it is less than 1%. It's 0.5%. According to Jim, we have some kind of form that keeps up to date on it, and it gets filed, obviously, and we do our best to maintain that this barrel is still in place. That's the purpose.
I think it's reasonable with the rain barrels.
Okay, I do too.
Jim, have we ever required a maintenance recording on a de minimis increase?
It's required by state law on any stormwater system.
Okay.
Well, that being said,
So, I have a quick question, sorry. Just curious, is obviously we will always submit the form, but what is the penalty if the form is not submitted?
50 years in jail.
Just curious.
You won't be able to have your permit issued. So prior to the issuance of your permit to build your stuff, it will be something I'll have to have that form in our hands for us to record.
Thank you.
It's relatively harmless. It's just a way of us keeping track of it, because rain barrels fall apart. You can use water-loving plants to do the same thing. They die. People pull them out, and then it's not maintained. And really, we're trying to keep the impervious surface down as much as we can. That number. And this is one way of semi-guaranteeing that it will. Nothing's perfect. And that's why we don't usually do this for anything more than what you were asking for right now. We want something more permanent. And that's why we think it's fair. But that's why. Understand? You okay with that? If the board was inclined to grant this this application, and you would be okay with that?
I'm sorry, we were interrupted by our daughter.
Oh, would you, if the board was inclined to grant your application for the relief, you would be okay with the form to keep it up, the barrel information up to date, submitted to the township, whatever Mr. Majewski requires? I'm sure it's not hard to do. It sounds like it's a technical thing. They put it in the file box and there it is, and you've done it, and then we make the next guy do it too. Yeah, we don't chase you down.
We'll be happy to do that. Yes.
Okay, in that case, I can't guarantee it, but I will ask for a motion here. If anybody likes to make a motion.
I'll be happy to make a motion to approve appeal number 21-1890 as submitted, with the additional requirement that the applicants submit the maintenance form required by the township.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Your variance is approved. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you for your consideration. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Good night. Okay. That's that one. Our next one, make sure I'm looking at the order right here, is Vincent, appeal number 21-1891. Vincent J. and Beverly Calistra. I hope I'm saying that right. Apologize if I'm not. And this is a application for a swimming pool again, but I believe is there an addition here too? Make sure I'm getting this right here. I know it's a swimming pool, in-ground swimming pool, deck and shed. Let's bring them up. Mr. and Mrs. Calistra, if we can bring them up to get sworn in, bring them into the meeting. Bill?
Everyone, this item is in.
Hello?
Hello? Oh, yes. You hear us?
Yes, we've been waiting in the waiting room.
That's the place to be, the waiting room. Yeah. All right. Adam, you need to be sworn in. You guys need to be sworn in, and then Adam's probably going to have some housekeeping to do with you, some exhibits to mark up.
Okay, let me swear you in first. Do you solemnly swear the testimony I'm about to give will be the truth, so help you God?
We do.
I do.
Thank you.
All right. Adam, before they start it, you want to mark the exhibits down?
Sure. We have the application as A1. The site plan is A2. They have a couple renderings of the property as A3. Impervious surface calculations is A4. B1, proof of publication. B2, proof of posting. And B3, notice to the neighbors.
Okay. That being said, why don't you explain to the board what you like to do?
Excuse me. I'm actually the one that's going to speak on behalf for Vincent and Beverly. My name is Bruno with Crystal Clear Signature Pools.
You would need to be sworn in.
Yeah, swear him.
Okay, before I swear you, could you repeat your name and spell your last name for me?
Sure. Name is Bruno Morgan-Hera. Last name is spelled Morganheira. Thank
you. You solemnly swear the testimony I'm about to give will be the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. So over at 1500 Page Drive, what we're looking to do is we're looking to install a new swimming pool, a pool deck, a paver pool deck. We're also looking to slightly expand the existing composite deck, and add a roof over top, a good part of the deck, about a 20 by 20 roof. In doing so, we're asking for relief on the impervious surface as well as the rear setback line. Starting off with the impervious coverage. So currently the property has sits at 18.27%. What's allowed for this property is 18.5. So we're very close to the max as it is with minimal features. Right now, there's just your simple driveway, front walkway, and a composite deck with no cover on there. So again, we're currently already at 18.27. The max is 18.5. With the proposed pool deck, the cover over the composite deck, we're going to increase our percentage to 26.4%, which is an increase of 2,042 square feet. Again, taking us to 26.4%. It's an increase of 8.13%. So based on the grading plan that we provided to you, which was drawn up by Lenape Valley Engineering, we showed stormwater management calculations. And based on the square footage that we're at, and again, the 2,042 square feet, we are required 340 cubic feet of storage. And this is based on water volume control requirements. If you note the water treatment calculations, the seepage bed, which is designed again and shown on the plan, and there's a detail on the plan, allows for 120 cubic feet of storage. The pervious paver bed, which we're trying to do, is install permeable pavers around the pool, so it still has a nice decorative look, but allows water to percolate through. Well, that pervious paver bed allows for 277 cubic feet. So in total, based on our water treatment calculations, again shown on the plan, we are proposing 397 cubic feet of storage, where only 340 cubic feet is required. Thus, we're going over by 57 cubic feet over and above what's needed, and bringing our property back into compliance at the 18.5%. And again, as I mentioned, the details again are on the seepage, or on the plan for the seepage bed, as well as a permeable paver. And also note that the pool does capture water, so it doesn't shed water, it captures water, and it's not included in the impervious calculations as per the ordinance. So that's all the details that we have here on the increase on the impervious coverage. You know, based on the amount of square footage that we're adding in, we're simply trying to install a comfortable amount of pool deck, coping, etc., that allows for usable space for the family, for possible guests whenever that time comes around again. But in general, just having a comfortable space for furniture, for walking around the pool, and considering that again the property is already at 18.27, it wasn't going to take much to get us well beyond the 18.5, and thus the reason why we're using or planning to install a seepage bed as well as a permeable paver bed to bring us back into compliance.
So your effective impervious surface with your seepage bed would end up being what?
It would end up being actually less than 18.5. Since our storage that we're proposing is 397 cubic feet, where we only require 340 cubic feet. The actual percentage I can try and calculate for you while we're here, but it would be less than the 18.5. That's the max allowed for the property.
Our engineer can double check that. But this one more time, I don't know if I missed it, but I heard you say something about pervious pavers.
Correct.
That part of the calculation?
That's part of the calculation, yes. So even though we're adding that as part of the impervious calculation, we're putting a pervious paver bed below these pavers. We're using a permeable paver to allow water to run between the joints and flow into this stone bed below the pavers, which the detail is shown on the plan by Lenape Valley.
Jim, Mr. Majewski, I see the plan and I understand what he's saying. Is what he's saying very accurate or accurate?
Yes, it is. They are still including the porous pavement within the calculation because they do exceed the requirement, and that is classified as impervious surface. But from a stormwater management perspective, it does allow water to go in, go down to the stone bed, be stored, and then slowly percolate into the ground.
Okay. Now, I'm looking here. Let's see 1 second. I'm going to try to move this over. So that, all right, yeah, no, I see it. The design looks pretty good. Anybody want to comment on this? Thank you for moving that over.
I have a couple of questions.
Go ahead, Matt.
Your zoning data table identifies some oddities. So you're saying your front yard restriction is 40 feet required, but you're saying proposed is 35 feet. However, you aren't showing any additions in the front. If you could clarify that. Your rear yard restriction is saying required 50, but your proposed is 45. But you're showing the proposed covered deck to be 46.76 feet into the setback. Your impervious coverage you're identifying as NA on both required, but the numbers you're putting out there are separate from that.
Right. So I apologize for the zoning data questions and issues there. For the front yard, there are no changes that we're asking or we're doing in the front yard. That 40 feet that's required is still the 40 feet as shown on the actual plan itself. So we will correct that when we submit the plan for review. In the back, the 50 feet that's required, we are asking to exceed that and go beyond the 50 feet to 46.766 feet. So again, I apologize for the engineer not noting that under the proposed, but if you note the plan and the application, we are asking to exceed the 50 feet to go to 46.76 feet.
Okay.
And again, that all will be corrected on the zoning data when the plan is submitted for review.
All right.
I just want to ask one thing. I mean, you really isn't a lot of the setback isn't very big, but do you have to? Why is it 3 feet? Looks like it's 3.5 feet. Is that something you have to have? I mean,
well, the existing deck that's there now is very close to the limit already as it is. And what we're trying to build is we're trying to build a room that's essentially 20 by 20. Like a standard living room. And since we plan on having some larger outdoor furniture, possibly a table, we want to be able to have a comfortable amount of space for the furniture, and also to allow friends and family to be able to walk around the deck area. Thus, it's how we came up with the 20 by 20 space, and that pushes us beyond that 50-foot setback to the 46.76 feet.
is that the stairs I see going down that makes that the 46.7 feet mark? Is that the stairs going down from the deck? I mean, I see that.
No, it's the stairs is not. It's the bump out is actually a fireplace.
Oh,
yeah.
Then that takes up, looks like 1.5 feet or so.
It does take up some space. The reason why the fireplace again is bumped out goes back to what I said of trying to create as much of a comfortable 20 by 20 room. And that's why the fireplace is bumped out so it doesn't encroach into the 20 by 20 space.
Can you move the fireplace to the left?
Go ahead, Matt.
Can you move the fireplace to the western wall instead of where it is?
It should stay where it is. Look, see, the thing is, if we move the fireplace to a different location, for instance, like the western wall, then it covers up a window off the west side of the house that we're trying to preserve the open view out towards the backyard. It's a reading room, and we want to try to keep that window's view open to the back. Also, I guess you would say the east corner of the deck, that corner itself is at 48.27. So it already does go beyond the 50-foot setback, and by pushing the fireplace, then that takes you to 46.76. So even moving the fireplace, that one corner is already, I would say, in, I guess, violation beyond the 50-foot setback.
Was that built with the permit, or was that built when you bought the house, or did you add that on? And if so, was there a permit?
No, there's no roof structure. We're asking now for the roof structure. Right now, it's just a standard deck that's there.
As it stands, it doesn't violate the setback. It has a set of stairs, which usually doesn't get attributed. But I don't understand. I'm a little confused as to why you can't move the fireplace to the western side of the proposed covered deck and pull that whole covered deck back behind the 50-foot.
Well, I mean, we're not saying that we can't. Well, let me go back. So on the fireplace side, we don't want to shift it to the west side because it would block a window that looks out from the house. And we want to try and actually look out into the fireplace area versus looking at the side of the fireplace. In terms of shifting the deck back beyond the 50-foot setback, obviously it's not built. There's nothing that's restricting us from doing so. But again, we're trying to create as much of an open room by staying with the 20 by 20 size and obviously going beyond that 50-foot setback. If you would like Vince and Beverly to explain a little bit more about the window and why we position the fireplace where it is in order to preserve the view. And if they're comfortable, speaking, I'm sure they can speak on their behalf as well.
Well, Bruno, I understand the whole thing, but you gotta remember, we're looking at hardships here. A view is generally not a hardship.
So folks, if I could just comment just briefly.
Go ahead.
When you look at the drawing that's up on the screen right now, where the fence is, there's another 20 feet to our party line. And along that whole area are 40 and 50-foot pine trees. So I have total privacy there. So the 2.5 feet that we infringe to the party line does not affect the neighbor's view into my yard because they have privacy on their side and I have privacy on our side. That's why we put the fence right along the mulch line, and there's 20 feet from that fence back to the party line where all these big oak trees appear. The other point is that when you look at the picture that's on the drawing right now, the window that's right in front of the fireplace, currently there's a window from my dining room.
I can't see that window. Can you make that?
Well, it's right now it shows as a door.
Okay.
Right now it's a window.
I see.
And we're changing that to sliding doors to open up, wherein we have a living space from the dining room into this covered deck. And that's sort of the fireplace is parallel or just in the middle of that room. So when you sit in our living room and our dining room, you look out and you'll be able to see the fireplace. Lastly, if you have another view of I don't know if they have the drawing show it, but where I'm showing here, our conservatory is right on this side, and there's a large window, and we'd like to keep that view out of the conservatory. So it's only 2.5 feet. And again, it does not infringe on our neighbor since they've got right here, they've got the privacy. They enjoy the privacy of these large oak trees. And on this side is where our conservatory is. It's a toll home, and we'd like to keep that view looking out.
What conservatory? I see a house with all grass around it.
Oh, okay. There, you can't see it on this drawing.
It's all windows.
It's all windows. It's all windows on the other. It's a typical toll home where we have the conservatory on the other side of the house. Maybe you'll be able to. I don't know, Bruno, if you have another picture. Probably not. But if you put up the drawing of the total house, if you go back to that, do you have that? Can you pull that up?
Yes.
So right here is this whole room here is a conservatory with windows looking out.
Where are we looking at? Did it move the curtain? Oh, right there. Okay.
Right here. So a lot of the homes that was an extra where you can get another 20-foot conservatory added on, and that's basically the conservatory is from here to here, and we're bringing the deck next to the window, and then these are all windows looking out, which we would like to maintain that view. And then from here is our dining room, and that will have a sliding door going out and being able to look at the fireplace. And then if you went back to the other view, you can see that our neighbor maintains their privacy and we maintain ours. They get the benefit of these trees we planted. We've been in this home for almost 20 years. So when they put the storm drain over here, the developer put in 10 trees, and over 20 years they've grown into, these huge trees that provides my neighbor and ourselves with a lot of privacy. So we clearly didn't think that they would ever notice the fact that from here to here is not 50 feet, but 47.5 feet.
I want to clarify, it's actually 46.76 feet.
So 47 feet versus 50. So, three and a third foot, which they'll never notice because they can't see into my yard with these big trees in the back.
Now, when you describe, maybe it's me, but I'm a little uncomfortable with your drawing. You say the conservatory, and I see you show it by the covered deck area, but you don't really detail it.
Bruno, we have numerous pictures of our house.
With you?
Vince, are you on a laptop?
I am.
Can you pick up the laptop and walk it over into the room?
Yes.
Is that okay with everyone?
Jim, can you pull up Google Maps?
There's one second, folks.
Thank you, Matt.
It shows it when you go to the 3D view. I have it up if you want to let me do it.
Sure, go ahead. Matt can do. He's got the 3D Google. Yeah. I would like to see that too.
There we go. So this is the house.
All right. So where are we here?
So if we're looking east.
Where your cursor is now is the conservatory.
Yeah, this is what he's calling a conservatory.
Okay. And the pool is going behind that. And the deck, right? This deck is behind that. Where your cursor is.
The window there looks out to our yard. I think I lost you. If you move that.
That deck, I don't. There's no roof on
it. Room here is a large conservatory. I don't know if people are familiar with this.
You're breaking up. Your communication's breaking up. You gotta somehow you're. your connection. Can you check it?
So
That's the window that you're seeing here. It has a tree in front of it now for Christmas.
We're having a communication problem.
But that's the window that overlooks the yard that we like to keep that view open.
So it's difficult to notice from this Google view, but you see where that tree is. That tree is actually coming out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which it has to because it
I'm going to
encroaches.
go back to that room because I think I lost you.
One at a time, please. One at a time.
I don't think Vince can hear us. That's why he was speaking.
Yeah, he sounds pretty chopped up.
Okay.
I don't know if he wants to go out and come back in or to try to.
He's going back into the other room.
All right. So it looks like you're bringing this tree down and you're covering
the deck.
The deck.
Yeah.
Bending it out a little bit more.
Correct. So if you look at the existing deck, we're covering approximately two-thirds of it, let's say. A third of it where the steps come out onto the backyard is staying uncovered. So in the middle of that covered space, which is essentially center with those windows that Vince mentioned earlier, he was converting into sliding doors. The fireplace is going to sit center with those windows.
So like here.
Correct. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to preserve the view from that bump out of the house, the conservatory there. Correct. Yes, there you go.
And this view, if I may interrupt, is the view of the fireplace.
That is correct.
You'd be looking at the fireplace from the conservatory. If the fireplace was over here, which I really would prefer not to have it there. I really don't want it there.
I understand what you want. I got it.
And I'm taking, yeah, okay.
I mean, we always got to consider hardships here. And it's beautiful. Everything looks beautiful there. And I understand.
Well, thank you, sir. I've been a resident of Lower Makefield for
Over 40 years.
over 40 years. My kids went to school here. They're now one's in New Orleans, one's in Virginia. I'm getting close to retirement. I now have grandkids that fortunately are young enough they're going to come visit grandma and grandpa, and hopefully we're not traveling like we used to with the COVID. I'm sure you've heard this story before. That's not a hardship, but I wanted to enhance my property and have a place where my family could come during the summers.
And be safe and healthy.
Yeah. So that was the game plan between, expanding the deck and making that more of a livable space coming off the dining room with a slider and then the pool and the fire pit.
To play devil's advocate, I'm not sure the fireplace on the side would really kind of match the frame of the house.
Yeah.
I think it would be odd.
I think I might want to agree with Pam here, and I understand that. This does seem like a minor issue to me. I wanted to bring it up so it was clear, but I don't really see it as a major issue. I think that's what Pam is leading on.
And folks, not to interrupt, but you can see the privacy that we have in the back there. We have all these trees, and the one space where one of the trees died, I'm going to put in another tree in there. So there's complete privacy from my side and my neighbor's side.
Right here.
Right there. Yes.
All right. I would, at this point, we've heard enough 10 times. If somebody would like to make a motion on this, I would appreciate that or whatever, because we're just going to be rehashing the same thing here. I personally don't think this is a major thing, but somebody want to entertain a motion?
Sorry, I'm talking away and I'm muted.
Oh, sorry.
I'll make I thought I was unmuted. I'm sorry. I'll make a motion unless someone else wants to butt in. To approve appeal number 21-1891 as submitted, as long as it meets all of the township's requirements.
Can I make one comment, please?
Yes.
So
I guess.
on the appeal, it notes that the setback, we're requesting 47.67 feet. but that was, I'm assuming, a typo, because on the plan as well as the application, we actually requested 46.76.
It's on the plan. We see it. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
So Tony, on the plan, it says it in two different numbers. So I would say we just make sure it says 46.7.
Yes, and I agree with Matt, and it does on this plan, 46.76 is the one I'm looking at. And it does show that. And Pam, if you want to make sure that's in your motion about that.
Sure, so I'll amend my motion to include the maximum setback relief requested to, what was it, Matt? 46.76 feet.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Township? Nobody? Any public comment? I should have asked that before.
Done that earlier.
No public comment.
Sorry about that. Hey, I'm not perfect. Come on. That being said, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. Take care. Thank you very much. Make sure you submit all the information.
Thank you very much, folks. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for that.
I know you do. Make sure you submit everything that Mr. Majewski requires.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, Bruno.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye,
Okay.
guys.
Good night.
Good night.
That one.
We got one more, right?
We got one more, yes. This is appeal number 21-1892. Again, I'm going to massacre this name. It's either Dan Shao or Shakal. I'm sorry.
Shaw.
Oh, I'm
Close
sorry.
enough. That's okay. Close enough.
Sorry. You're coming up. You're going to be the one testifying here. You'll need to be sworn in, and then Adam will mark your exhibits.
Yes, sir.
Bill?
Sir, do you solemnly swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Adam?
All right, we have the application is A1, site plan is A2, proof of publication B1, proof of posting B2, and the notice to the neighbors as B3.
All right.
How you guys doing?
Okay. Dan, go ahead and tell us. We've already read it, but we want to hear you tell us.
Yeah, we're applying for a pool permit. Currently, we have 20% impervious coverage, and our construction would go to 21.9% impervious coverage. Do you need? I have no engineer with me. I didn't bring anybody with me. I'm sure you're probably happy about that now. The hardship is we have an 18-year-old, almost 19-year-old autistic adult son who attending the public LMT pool has become increasingly difficult, and his love for the pool is growing. And with last year's COVID restrictions, not being able to join the pool at all, and then just for health and safety reasons for him going forward, we have decided to apply for a pool to maintain, to keep this young man happy and safe from, the going to the public pools become more difficult the older he gets, the bigger he gets. We've enjoyed the public pool since 2008, so we just can't do it any longer.
All right, so you have 20, you're going to 22. You don't have any dimensional issues. I don't see any. I know you got some kind of infiltration thing, and I'm looking on your plan. There it is. And that brings it down to effectively what? Impervious. I know this is a term you're probably not aware of, but we have to have what's going to be we call the effective impervious surface after you account for your infiltration trench, which looks like it's around the perimeter of the pool.
Yeah. I don't know that number. I just know from what the denial and the permit said our proposed construction is 21.9%. I don't know what that means with that term. I don't see it on the plans either. I have them open in front of me.
But
Tony,
Jim, go ahead.
Basically, they're accounting for all new impervious surface that is being created. So they're basically keeping it effectively at what currently exists.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
We try to do what we can. Okay, I really, that looks fine to me, but I have a board. Somebody want to make a comment? Anybody has a comment here?
I have a
Fine to
question.
me.
One at a time. Matt, go ahead.
Go ahead, Tim.
Nope, I was just gonna say it looks fine to me. I'll defer to
Okay.
Matt.
There's a shed that's within the 10-foot setback. Was that permitted?
That was here when we got here from the previous owner, who was the township supervisor, Frank Fazlor.
Jim?
Can you clarify if that was permitted or not?
I would have to check that. Otherwise, would need to be relocated to be 10 feet from the property line.
All right, Dan, you hear that? So there might be a couple stipulations if the board is inclined to agree to this variance. You may have to relocate the shed or whatever. Are you okay with all that? And it is something to be considered. Matt is right. I don't know what that would be. That would have to Jim would have to determine that, or Jim Majewski, our engineer. If we were inclined to approve this, would you be okay whatever the township, Mr. Majewski, the engineers would require you to do?
If it will help the variance be approved, yes.
That's the idea.
Do you know how old the shed is?
How big is
the shed was? The shed was here when we moved in, and
I'm just wondering if it's a non-conforming shed. Was it?
I said 16 by 8 by 8, I think.
No, I didn't ask for the size. I was just wondering how old it was.
Yeah, yeah.
And
No, it was we've been here for 13 years, and it was here when we got here.
Okay.
And we can review that, and in any event, if it is an existing nonconformity, they do not have to relocate it. If they got a permit at that time. If they didn't, then they may have to relocate it. It should be noted that the Planning Commission is looking into possibly reducing the setback for accessory structures.
Oh, thank God.
We've just had an initial discussion on that. So by the time the pool all gets done, it may be that nothing needs to be moved.
Okay.
That's a wonderful news.
I would love to see
news.
that.
Thank God. I've seen it. Only been 15 years. Thank you,
guys.
Matt. I'm glad somebody else agrees with me.
It's a ridiculous setback, but I mean, it's part of the code. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it. Oh, Dan, we don't mean to laugh at you. We're laughing with you.
Yep.
No, I get it. I'm laughing at you too. There's some ridiculous codes out there. I get that.
We have rules to follow, and that's what we have to do.
Yep.
All right, so now that I look at it, it looks like his impervious mitigation looks good, according to our engineer, Mr. Majewski. And if somebody was inclined to make a motion based on that, now, is there any public comment? I'm sorry. Bill, any public?
No public comment.
Township? Nothing? Barb's not even here tonight. Yeah, okay.
Get away with that.
All right. If somebody's inclined to make a motion based on what we just talked about, now's the time.
Making a motion to approve Appeal 21-1892 as submitted, if determined by the township engineer that the shed needs to be relocated, that the shed is relocated.
Okay. We have to add anything, and everything is approved by the township. Okay.
Everything is approved by the township.
Yeah, we always got to include that. We should make sure we say that because we don't know everything. And Jim's got to look at some of that. All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Is there any discussion? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. All those opposed? No one. Hey, your relief is granted. Just make sure you follow what we just told you. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Good luck. And don't
Thank you very much.
forget,
Have a nice night.
when first finished, we all have to be invited over for the pool party.
Hey, listen, you are all invited. Trust me. And first round's on me. Second too. All right,
Oh, we
take
can't
care,
drink.
guys.
We don't drink. We only eat.
Enjoy.
I got your burgers. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. All right. That's good. That worked out nice. What else we got, guys?
That's
That was
it.
the last one.
That's it.
Yep, that's it.
Just one thing, just a reminder for everyone that we do have a meeting next Tuesday, the 26th at 7:30. The continued hearing for the challenge to the validity of the mixed-use overlay ordinance.
Can't wait, man. It's still sitting on my table right here. I didn't want to move anything. All right. I have some things to talk about, but I don't think they should be on the record. At least I don't think so. All right. So I guess we have a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
In discussion, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
See everyone next week.
Could we be like out of, where nobody can see us now? Is that a possibility? I can discuss something without.